Last time we talked about one of the conditional statement, which is the if statement. Today we'll talk about another statement. It's called switch statement. Like other languages, okay, we have also, to use more than one statement in order to run something or make a choice between executing more than one sentence. We use switch statement. Now we will practice what is the switch statement, what is the format for it or the syntax, and what's the difference between if and switch, and when we use if and when we use switch statement. So first of all, let's just know the definition of the switch statement. Basically, switch statement is a statement that allow you to select one or more code block to be executed. In the if statement, you can choose only one block to be executed, okay? But in the switch statement, you can include more than one statement or more than one code to be executed, not necessarily to be one choice, okay? So if you have a switch statement, okay, you have case 1, case 2, case 3, case 4, and so on. You can execute more than one case if you want. You can execute all the cases if you want. You can execute just only one case. So it depends on whenever what is the choices that you make to execute which block and which code. Okay, the switch statement is more efficient syntax, okay, that gives you more alternatives than if statement. So instead of writing if else, if else, if else, now the syntax has become a little bit more complicated. Imagine that you have, for example, 100 choice or 1000 choice, and you want to use 1000 if statement, if else statement. So that's not going to be a good syntax. So the best way to do it is to use what? To use switch statement. Now Java use break in order to separate each cases in the switch statement, okay? So if you have a switch statement, then you need to have what? You need to have a break between them, because otherwise they will execute all of them. It will execute all of them. Now, this is how we do it actually, okay? Um, Let me just choose the pen, okay, so I can draw something here. So if you have a switch statement, okay, you can see that or not. If you have a switch statement, okay, it will start, okay, and this is the end of the switch statement, okay, for example. And you have cases, okay, and you have cases, and then each case will have what? A condition. Each case will have a condition. Between each case, there is what? Break statement. It's necessary to put a break statement. Otherwise, it will go for the next one. Okay? So the keyword break, it's break the switch block. Switch. You don't have to put start and the end. Okay? This is not necessarily. Okay, like if statement. If you have more than one line, the break means the end of the block in the case statement. We'll take an example later. Now the last one is called the default. Default is mean what? Default means that this is the last option. If none of these cases happen, by default it will choose what? The one and execute the code in the block default. Okay, so the default is the last option. If none of the cases executed, default will be executed, and there will be a break also at the end of the default. So the break means what? End of the cases. Default is just a case that is happen when no cases executed or satisfied the condition in the previous cases. This is somehow a small short about what is the switch statement. Okay. Now the break statement is very important. It just saves time. Instead of testing the other cases, it just stop if there's and this block executed, it jumps to the end of the switch, because there's no need to test the others. Okay, that's what the break does. It saves time It separates the cases blocks code between. It's just like a break between the blocks of each cases, and also save time by running if the option is satisfied. And we found the break. Break mean what? This is go outside the switch statement. You can use a break also other in your program in anywhere. When you use a break in your loop, for example, it will exit the loop. When you use a break in anywhere, it will means what? It means that's it, stop. Okay, so break means what? Mean this is the end somehow. But in switch cases, it means two things. It means that this is the end of the block, and it is also a separator between the code blocks. So it saves time and save a lot of effort. Now this is a diagram shows exactly what happened in the case statement. So this is the expression here, and is the expression here. So the expression has not the true or false. It will have a value. It will have what? A value. It's not necessarily like if statement true or false. It will have a value. Okay, and this value either in case 1 or case 2 or case 3 and so on. Okay, if it's in case 1, each case has what? Has a block code, separate block code, separate block code. At the end of the code, we have always what? Break. Always put break at the end of the block. Okay, if you don't put the break, it will continue to the next case. Okay, even if it's not satisfied. So that's what happened exactly. And you need to put, this is why you need to put what? Break at the end of each case. The last case is called default. Default is an option. You can put it and you can not put it. It's like else in the if statement. If none of the others executed, it will go to the default block code. This is the format of the switch here. Switch expression, and you write case, and you put the value of the expression. So the expression could have a x or y. This is x, for example. This is y. This is z, and so on. We'll take examples a little bit later. Any question about the statement? Okay, great. Now, the good thing is that what? It's very flexible, and this is an example. I'm gonna just remove the font from here, and so you can see the example. For example, we have a variable called grade, and this grade has a value a, for example. You can enter it if you want, or you can calculate it. Switch to the grade. What's the expression here? Grade. Okay, so the grade either A or B or C or D or other letters. Okay, so the grade can be A, B, C, D, or other letters. Okay, now it has a value. Okay, so we go switch to the grade. This is the start of the switch, and this is the end of the switch. And we have case A, we have case B, okay, we have case C, we have case D, and we have the default. We have the default. This is the end of case A, break. This is the end of case B, break. This is the end of case C has no break. Okay, that means if case C happen, okay, it will also execute what? D, because there's no break here. So it's necessarily to put what? Break always at the end. That means the end of the block. Case D, we have a break. Also default, we also put what? Break. We need to put break in all at the end of the code. So this is how it happened. Now, what will print this one? It will print this one. Excellent. Because what? Because grade is equal to A here. Okay. If grade is equal to B, it will print what? Very good. If the grade equals C, it will print good and average together. will print the code and average together. And also, if none of this of the grade is F, for example, or other letters, it will print what? Enter the value between A and D. It'll give you an error message. It's just an error message that the value is out of range, for example. This is a very simple example that explains how switch work. This is another example about the day, for example. Okay, so we can give the day numbers. So we can say integer day. We forget about the value. So switch the day value. The day value could be equal to 1 or 2 or 3 until what? 7, because we have 7 days, for example. Okay, so instead of asking the user to enter Monday, Tuesday as a text, you ask him to choose write 1 if it's Sunday, write 2 if it's Monday, write 2, 3 if it's Tuesday, like this. It's very simple, and it's also reduce the error because he will enter number. If you allow him to enter the text, he maybe enter Thursday, T capital. Some of them the user will enter T small letter, other will write wrong pronunciation for the letter, something like that. So it's better to give him to choose a number. So if he choose 1, I will say it's Monday, khalas, okay? And this is the break, the end of the case. If it's 2, then this is Tuesday, and this is the break, okay? This 3 is Tuesday, and so on. As you can see that each case what has what? A break in it. Do we have default here? No, because this is an option, okay? Because default is an option. You can add it if you want just for an error. You can say that default and system without it to print, it is not a date. You have to choose from 1 to 7, for example, okay? This is an example. You can use it, for example. Another example, you can write it like this way. Day 6, system today is Saturday, like this. You can write something more interactive. You can also write it like this, 7. Now, which statement will be executed here? Okay, because the day here is equal to 4. So it will not execute 6. It will not execute 7 to go to the default. Okay, the default will write looking forward to the weekend. Okay, it will execute this statement. It will execute this statement because day is 4 and it's not 6, it's not 7. But here, day is 4, it will execute what? This one here. Another example as well. This is another example for a grade. The same, we already took the grade. Okay, for the name equal B. B, for example, system output Han or another name. Okay, or another name. Depends on the name. What is it? Okay. For example, another example. Yes. This is a very good example. We already discussed this before. So if you have a sales and the commission rate, if the sale class 1, you give him commission 2%. If you have 2, you give him 3.5. If you have 3, you give him 5%. Anyone else will get what? 0. If you have an if statement, then you need to have F. You need to write F. What? F commission rate, for example, equal to 0.02%. Then what? Do something here. Else, and then you say else F, and then you go for the second one, and then the third one, and then the last one is else. So you have 3 statements. You can use a switch. It's much better. Switch, use it this way. Double commission, which is this is the commission rate, and this is the variable. Okay, so switch for the sales class, and this is the sales class is the expression that we will decide which block we will execute. If the sales class is 1, we give him what? 2% sale. Then the case 1, if it's 1, The commission rate equal what? 2%, and that's it. Alas, this is the end. If in the class 2, then give him what? If it's class 2, 3.5%. So this is a class 2, and this is a break, means the end of the case. And if it's 3, they'll give him 5. So this is the end of the case here. If not a class 1, not a class 2, not a class 3, it could be any number like 4, 0, 6, 8, 9, until any number except these numbers. Then it will what? It will execute the default. It will give him commission 0. Default means what? Default means what? In sales class not in 1 or 2 or 3 option. It could be any number except these 3 numbers. This is 3 example on using switch statement. Yeah, I can show you, demonstrate that to you in the program. So for example, let's say that we want to do something new program, and this program will print the grade. For example, I will create a new program. Okay, let's say that I'm going to close the other programs. So I'll close this one, and I will close. Okay, yeah, let's keep this file, a new project, Java. Okay, and Java application. I hope you can see my screen. And then next, and then we can say switch example, for example, switch example. Okay, and then we say finish. It will take a little bit time. Now it is here. Now you can see that always we will have the class name is the same as the file name, and because we created Java application, we will always have the main class. So I will write a program. I will write a note here. For example, I will write the author is me. Always try to do that, and I will write a program here. Say comments here saying that this program print the grade of the student. Okay, the grade of the student. I will do it using F, and then I will do it using what? Using the switch statement. Okay, all right. So let's see. I will use the simple F, and then after that I will use the switch statement so you can see the difference between them. First of all, I need a variable. For example, I will identify 2 variables: student string, name of the student, for example, and I need another one is called for example integer SID, which is the student ID. You can write comment here. This is the student name. Okay, and this one is the student number. It's good. It's a good to write that. Okay, and then the last one is what? Is the last one I can say that it's double, or let's make it integer. Int GPA, sorry, int, or no, let's make it double. That's okay. GPA double. So this is the GPA. It's already known. And the last one I'm gonna say is I'm gonna say CHAR grade, for example. Okay, and I put semicolon. Now we need to put value. I'm going to use the scanner to enter the value. We already explained the scanner. So I'm going to say scanner. I will call it n, for example, equal new scanner. And I'm going to use the system.n class. And that's it here. Okay, the scanner, we need to import it. So click on this one, as we said last time, and then you can use the scanner here. Then we need to enter the information for the student. So I will say here system dot out dot print. Dot print. Some of you ask me what's the difference between print and println. Print and stay on the same line, but println will print and jump to the second line. So this is enter the student details. Okay. I will use println here, so I want to jump. I'm gonna copy this one. I always do that. It's a bad habit, but it saves some time for you. And then I can give something like this to make the it looks better here, like this, for example. And then I will get, okay, enter the student name, enter name. Okay, and then I will ask him to enter the name. So I will say name equal what? N dot next, because it's what? It is a string. It is a string. And then the second one, I'm gonna just copy this too and say copy, and then I will use paste. So enter, for example, SID, student number, and then it's the semicolon here. Okay, I'm just gonna make a space here, so it's much better. I will use print here because I want to print it on the same line. Okay, and then here instead of name, I will use what? SID equal, and instead of next, I should use what? I should use next integer, this one here. Okay, perfect. And the last one is what? Not the last one, before the last one, enter GPA. And we can do that like this. And then the GPA is actually a double, so I need to use the other input format. So GPA, and then we can dot what? Sorry, GPA equal, yeah, GPA equal n dot next double, because GPA is a double. This is okay. Now the last one is the student grade. The grade, I don't want to enter it. I need to calculate it. Okay, so this is the grade. I need to calculate the grade based on the GPA. Okay, so this is, if you test the program, save, always try to save, and then run the program to see if it's working or not before you continue. This is a better way, because you don't want to have more than one error at the same time. If you have errors, try to fix it step by step. So here I enter the name, for example, just a test. Okay, and then enter the number like this, and then enter the GPA 2.5, and that's it. It's working. So let's continue. Now I want to print the grade. If I want to use if statement, I could say if what? First of all, I will depend on the GPA. If GPA is greater than what, 95, then it is what? Then I could say it like this here: grade grade equal A. I will use A only. I'm not gonna use A plus, A minus. So let's say more than 90. Okay, because I will use 9. I don't want to use more than one range. Okay, I want to make it that long. This is the first one. Okay, if GPA is more than 90, then grade equal to A. And probably this is the first one. I can remove this one because I have only one statement. That's fine. So yes, I could. Let's keep it. It's a good practice to keep it actually. Now, to know the end of the statement. So, grade is a character. What's the grade? Type string cannot be. Okay. This is just one character. So, why it is giving me a problem? Okay, let's try this one. Okay, this is gonna work. Double quotation is for string, single quotation for grade. And I could use else. Okay, and then add if grade GPA is less than 90. Okay, and this I'm gonna add equal here, less than 90, and I need to use and as well. Okay, and GPA, okay, greater than or equal to 80, for example. Yeah, something like that. It's not necessarily to be the same grading in the college. Then we have to say what? We have to say that grade equal to B, for example. Okay, and then forget semicolon. And then after that, you need to add also else if. So I'm just gonna copy and paste to do it quickly. Copy and paste that. And then I will say, okay, this is 90, this is greater than 80, less than 80, and the greater than 70. So the grade will be C here. And I need to close that. And I will say paste again. Okay, less than 70 here. And greater than 60. 60. And then I will have D. And then the last one, I will say else, just else, okay? I will say that grade equal F. And we need to use single quotation here because it should work with outside the net means, but net means a little bit more. So this is single quotation. Now, this is just a simple if-else statement. If you run the program, I need to print also what? I need to print the student information. And so I'm not going to copy this, okay, to put it down, okay, like this. And then also I'm going to copy this and put it down here. And this one, the last one, okay, GPA, copy, and then I will put it here. And then I will add to it, next to it, I'm gonna say instead of the asking, this is the student name you entered, which is name. And I will use println because I want each one in separate line. Okay, this is the student number. I will not say enter, I will say student name. I will say here student number because I already stored it. And put colon and you add SID like this. When you say plus, that means when you say print, everything between quotation will be printed exactly as it in between quotation. So if you add a space here, it will add a space. If you delete the space from here, it will remove the space. But if you print something without quotation, that means that that thing should be a variable and it should has a value. And if it's not, it will give you an error. So this is a plus, okay? And you can also add what the last one is the I'm not gonna print the GPA. Let's print them together. Okay, GPA. I will say the GPA is equal like this, equal to, and I will say plus. See, I'll just make a space and put like this and say, and close it like this and say plus, and print here the grade and plus, and I will close that like this. So this will print them in a special format. Okay, let's see if how does it work. I'm gonna save first. Always make sure you save. Now if there's an error happen after that, then the error will be in this statement because I already checked the previous statement. Hopefully there's no error. So I'm gonna run the program. So you enter the details, for example. Okay. Okay, so we have error here. Okay, we have an error. What is the error here? Okay, scanner.java. Yeah, this is the normal error. Okay, let's run it again. Let's say monter, and we enter. Let's say okay, number is 123, and the GPA is, for example, I'll give myself 92, so I should give me grade A, okay, because the statement here say if GPA is more than 90, then the grade equal A. So if I click enter, that should give me that student name, and this is how it's printed, 92, and the grade is A. Now this is using if statement, okay? Now we already practiced if statement. If you want to convert it into a switch statement, because I might give you a question in the exam saying this is an if statement, rewrite this using switch statement. Or I give you the opposite. This is a switch statement. Rewrite the code using what? Using if statement, for example. Okay, so you can convert between if, and you can from if to switch or switch to the if otherwise. Okay, so I'm gonna convert it. How I'm gonna convert it? Look at the way I do it. Okay, the first thing is that you need to say what? Okay, now this is I need to check the grade. All right, so I would say okay. All right, I would say switch, and the switch will depend on what? This is the switch statement. Switch will take, what's the main one is GPA. Okay, this is the switch is GPA. Okay, I'll keep the F. I'll convert it later. I'll do something now much better. I can use the F to do something here. Okay, I can use the F to print something here for the student, for example. I could say a message for him like something fail or not. Switch will make it easy for you, and then I will convert the F to grade. Okay, and I want to do something like this. Case it is A, and I need to put break always, always, always. Okay. Second case is case B, and I need to put break at the end of B. Okay, break always, and I just copy them because I have so many instead of writing, and you know me, I like copy and paste. That's B. So I have BAB, and then we have C and B, and also the last one is what? Is default, which is the last one is default, default, which is not A or B or C or D. Okay, default like this. Okay, default. Okay, default. Okay, I forget how to write default. How to write default? Anyone can tell me how to write it? Okay, so this is support break. I'll show something now. What's the importance of a break? Okay, now default is an option, right? You can see it's not color. Now case A, okay, switch here. We have to close that. Switch is small letter and default is small letter. I'm sorry. Okay, no error now. If it's A, I'm gonna print him something nice. Okay, something is like this. Okay, I'm gonna print him Control V. Uh, I'm gonna say excellent work, and I'm gonna say his name plus name like that. Okay. Otherwise, I'm gonna say okay here in B. I will say Control V. Great work. Great work, Mr. For example, and the name. And I would say here another statement to recognize it from the other one. I would say Control V, try more and more. And close it. Okay. I'm gonna copy these two. And second one is C. Okay. Here, Mr. No, no. I need to add this. I will say to him, please make more efforts. D, I will say to him, okay, Control V, Mr. It's like an email. You let him. You are on the edge. And if it's by default, okay, something like this. Mr. You failed. Please consult your supervisor. Something like this. Okay, so I'm gonna try to run the program, okay, and save it first. Let's see how that works. Okay, I'm gonna enter that. Enter student number 123. If I enter the GPA, for example, let's say put it in C. Let's say it is 65, for example, and this is what would happen. It's like the name of the student, the number, and this is the grade D, and say, Mr. Munder, you are on the edge because it comes to C here. Sorry, it comes to B, is it? Or it's D, is it? What is D? Yeah, yes, D. This is D. You are on the edge. Okay. Now, if I put if I run it again and use A, that will give me an excellent work. 1, 2, 3, 4, for example, and I will give the GPA is 95, for example, and what tell me is that excellent work, Wonder. Okay, the format of the output is depending on you. If I remove the break, see what happened. Okay, if I remove the break from the one of the statement, for example, see what happened. If I remove the break from C or from D, example, okay, let's remove the break here, no break. See what's the importance if removing break from the this statement. So I'm gonna put the grade D and see what happened. Is it just print the one in D and jump to the end of the switch, or it's continue? Okay, let's see. So very simple, same information I'm gonna enter, and I will enter student number 12345, for example. Enter the GPA. I will enter in the range of D. So D should be between 70 and 60. So I'll say 65. 65. Okay. See what happened. All right. What happened here? Mr. Munder, you are in the edge. Let's print this one in the D. Okay. And then also print what? Mr. Munder, you failed. Please console your power and print the one in the default. What happens if there is no break? It will continue. It will continue. If I remove the break from all of them, okay, and put the grade as A, it will print all of them, and you can see that. Okay, so you can see that will print all of them. I can show you that here. Try to do that before the break. Sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I will give you extra more minute in the break, and I will put the A 95 to print all of them because there is no break statement at the end of the case, and you can see that it just print all of them. This is why we need a break at the end of each statement. This is why we need a break at the end of each statement. It is very important. So break means what? Means this is the end of the block. This is a separation between the cases. Okay. When we come back, okay, we'll have a look at more examples, switch statement, and how to convert from if statement to switch statement. And I want to program, and we'll learn how to convert from SQL, from if statement to switch statement. So we wrote a program to enter the student mark, and we have to, somehow do that. Now, the last one, I'm gonna go, and this is the switch statement. Okay, if I want to do it in if statement, it's already here. If GPA then grade equal A, I can do the same. If I want to convert this switch statement into if statement, I will write it in the comments. So you say here, forget about this first one. This is take the cases, okay? Take the cases and you write if, okay? What is the expression? Grade equal A. And then you put this one here, and then where do you close it? Right here. This is the close of the if statement. This is the convert of the first one, okay? And then you use what? You write else, okay? And then you write, let's write it here. This is the second one. I put it in the comment, okay? Slash else if, and you put the second condition. What's the second condition? Grade equal B. And this is what we're gonna do. And the close will be here before the break. I don't want, this is for the if statement, okay? This is for the if statement. Put it in comments, okay? Sorry. This is the close for the if statement, and then after that This is the second one. Else, comment, else, if same condition, I'm gonna copy that, just copy that, the same thing here and just modify it. Copy, and here Control V, and else f grade equal, else f grade equals C here. Then do this, okay, and the close for the if statement is right here. The last one is D, Control V, and this is the comments, f grade equal D, and then the close will be here for the if statement. The last one I will use just what? Else, and the close will be here. Okay, now you see how I converted it. Now I can delete what? I can delete the how I converted it. I go to the cases and use F for each case. F for each case, and I have to use nested F. Okay, and the expression here taken from the switch inside the condition inside F equal to the first case, and then equal to the second case, third case, and so on. The default will have only else, and then I have to open and close the block for the if statement code. So now I can delete the switch, for example. I can remove the switch now. That should be fine. I can remove the comments and remove the break. Okay, I can remove the comments from here, remove the break. Okay, and remove the comments from here, remove the break, and remove the comments from here, remove the break, and the default, and cut the break, remove the close for the if statement, switch statement, and this is the close here, this is a closed here, this is a closed here, this is closed, this is closed here, and we have an extra one. You can just remove it. I think we have to close this one. Okay, I think we have deleted one extra. Okay, so this is how you convert it. When you run it, it will be the same output exactly. Okay, what's the difference now between if and the switch? If execute only one block that satisfy the condition in one if, but switch, it could execute one block and execute more than one block as well. Okay, it depends if you have a break or not. Now, if the case satisfies two cases, it will be executing two cases. So if the condition satisfies two cases, that I will give you an example later on, then I can do, it will run execute. So if you run it, it will be the same output. There's no big difference. Okay, there's no big difference exactly. So the same output. And the GPA is like this. Same exactly output. Okay, no difference. It was switch, and then I place it with 4. Okay. Okay. Now this one, how do I convert it? There's a condition here. Okay. How do I convert it to a switch? And I'm gonna comment it. I'm gonna say like this. Okay. I will comment the whole thing here, and then I'll convert it step by step. So okay, I'll comment this and this, this, this. Okay, all of it. This is an if statement. Okay. All right. Let's start one by one. The first thing you need to do is what? To put switch statement. Switch What's the switch for? The G, P, A. And then you open what? Brackets. Okay, and let's close it here. Right here. Now, the previous one, we said that we use what? The S is small, I'm sorry. Okay, we use case. Is it? So this is the close. Yeah. Okay, switch GPA. That's correct. What's the error here? Incompatible type. Close. Conversion from double to integer. Okay. Now this is one of the problems. Okay, that we need to use an integer just for the switch statement. Okay. So this is one of the problems. All right. So I'm just gonna have to go and make it an integer. All right. Now, this is good. Now, I could say case what? Now, if you want, you can say case 100. Okay. I want more than one case at the same time. Okay. Or case 90. Or case what? 99. Or case 98. Or case what? And 97. You go for all of them. Okay. You go for all of them. You can copy that. Okay. And you can insert it right back here. So case 96 here, for example. And case 95. It's a very complicated, is that? Okay, case 95, case 94, and case 93. And then you have to go also for what? Another cases. Copy. This is the traditional way to do it. This is the traditional way. 94, sorry, 92, and this is 91, and this is what? 90. Okay, so we took the mark from 100 to 90. In case of this, I'm gonna say what? The grade is what? Equal to, yeah, I'm gonna remove this one because it's greater than. Let's keep it. Okay, I'll just have to make this inside the cases and add a break here. So in any case of these cases, it will make the grade what? A. Same thing you do for what? For the others. Same thing you do for the others. Okay, you can say this is case what? Now 89. Okay, 88, 87. Okay, 86 and 85. Let's delete this one. 8, 8, 8, 8, 8. Okay, this is the second one. What's the second one? Is grade equal B. So make this one no comments and add a break. And you can do this for what? For the rest. Okay, we still have two cases left. I can just copy and paste them. That's fine. Copy and paste. Okay. So 7 here. 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, and the grade will be what? C. And you need to add break here. Okay, and the last one is what is case 60. This is the last one. I can do it. That's fine. 6 here, 6, 6, 6. Okay. And you can do this. I'm writing this to you to let you know that you can have more than one case at the same time. So that's how it happens. Okay, now the grade will be, for example, D, and then you need to add break. So for the default, we have else. Okay, for the else, I'm gonna add what? I will add the word default. And then I can remove this one, and you have, it's good to add a break at the end of the this. Okay, now this is how I converted the if statement into, we have here 7. Okay, and this is 7. You cannot repeat the same cases more than one time, it will give you an error. Okay, so this is how we do it. Okay, okay, this is how we do it. If you run it, it'll give you the same exact result. Okay, no problem. We have some things here. GPA is next, sorry, this one will use next int because it's become an integer now. Save and run that. Okay, again. Okay, let's see if it's the same running or not. Not there. Have to write it down here. Enter, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and GPA is 75, and should be the same. Okay, no big difference. Okay, no big difference at all. Now, instead of writing these things, case if you have a range, if you okay, like this, now this is how we convert from switch to what? To if statement. If you have more than one value, you convert it to this way. Okay, okay, I'll give you another example. Okay, let's say new project Java. Let's say, okay, finish. You're going to the hospital. Another example, because not similar. You're going to the hospital and you have insurance, health insurance. Okay, health insurance. And if you have this health insurance, if you have a VIP health insurance, which is has a code 1, you will get 20% or 50% or 100% discount. That means you pay nothing. Okay, if your insurance is class A, you will pay 50%, for example. Okay, you pay 50% of the amount. Okay, if you have class B, you pay, okay, you pay what? You pay 20%, for example. Okay, and last one is class C. You pay, okay, you pay, for example, okay, you pay, for example, 10% of the amount, sorry, 10% of the total amount. Otherwise, no discount, for example. Okay, so what you're gonna do, you have, for example, the patient information, say integer, patient ID, PID, for example. I'm just gonna give it a value here, a patient ID, string, patient name, for example, and the last one is what? The insurance, which is called integer. Let's call it insurance class. Okay, all good. And the last one is double total, which is the total amount you're gonna pay, and also double discount. Discount is like this. Okay, now we're gonna have to say, for example, system dot out dot print print enter okay patient ID. Okay, and I'm gonna use the scanner, so I have to use the scanner in order to call equal new scanner, and this should be capital, and I have to use system dot n and semicolon, and I have to import the library for the scanner, import, and then I need to say PID equal in dot next int. Be quick, so stay with me. Okay, I'm gonna copy this one and paste here, Control V, enter patient name, and here I will use only next because it's a string. Okay, it is just a string, not the PID. Here I will say P name. Okay, and then Control V, enter total. Okay, fees, how much you should pay, and then this one should be total equal, total is double, so I'm gonna say next double. Okay, and then the last one is enter the insurance class, and I'm gonna say okay, one for select the insurance class. I'm gonna say okay, here we'll write something and extra things like this, copy. For example, we'll say here select insurance. Okay, and we'll say here println, and then I will say Control V. I will say one for VIP, for example, and I'm gonna copy this one, copy, and then enter. I'm gonna say two for what's the second one? Class A and B and C. A, and then Control V, and 3 for C, for class C. Okay, and then last one is for this is B, is it? This is B, and this is C, and system Control V, any key or any number, let's say 0. Okay, let's say 0, for example, for no insurance. No insurance, either he put 0 or other number, I will consider it no insurance. Okay, so I select one. I'm gonna say here the insurance, what's the variable name here, any class. Okay, I'm gonna say copy and put it here, Control V, which is next integer. So I'm gonna calculate the switch. Okay, switch for the in class, Control V. Now the switch will have start and end. Okay, case 1 and case 2, case 3, and case what? 4. Okay, the last one is what? Default, which is case 0. Okay, this is default like this, and I need to add a break in each one. So I'm just gonna copy that. Okay, and add it. Copy, add it here, and always do like this. It's much better so you know exactly everything going on. It's much better. And then after that, you're gonna calculate the total. What's wrong here is that okay, switch is S is capital. I always write it in capital. Okay, when I try to code, and now we have to say that okay, system dot out dot print okay total. I will say total fees is okay equal to what? Total fees plus, we have to say what? It's equal to total that you entered here, total fees, which is equal the total here, okay, and the plus, okay, I can say only the discount. No, let's just say the discount, okay? Discount equal here, if it's one, discount will be what? 100%. Okay, that will be a 100%. So it's full insurance. Okay, so discount here, if it's VIB, it's equal 100%. Okay, it's equal 100%. Okay, this is the discount. Otherwise, it's 2. It's gonna be Control V. If it's number 2, it will be 50%. Okay, 50%. Otherwise, 3 will be 20%. Last one for discount will be what? Discount will be only 10%. Okay, now this one will be 1%. So it's going to be have the discount is sorry. This is 1. This is 0.5. This is 20%. This is 1%. Default discount equal 0. If there's none of these, it will be 0. And then after that, I will start writing the statement. So I'm going to say system. I will copy that from there. I have to copy that from there here. Okay, copy. Okay, Control V, and I will use the system print patient ID like this, and I will say okay, and plus PID, and I will use println, and I will remove this one because I don't want to enter it. I just want to print it, and then the patient name. Okay, patient name is the plus name, sorry, P name, that would be correct. Delete this one. And patient fees, patient total fees هنقول مش patient total fees, just total fees before discount, and I will print it here plus total, and I remove this one. I will just copy this one again and say okay, Control V, and this one is after discount, then it will be equal total minus what? Minus total multiplied by discount. So that should be what? That should be the discount. This one minus total plus, let me just put it, this is a space here, remove the space, and it just put it into other partners like this. We can include, there's one missing, there's something missing. Okay, this is closed. This is, no, there's one missing, that's correct. Yes. Okay, now this is how I use the switch for the class of the insurance. Now when I run it, I save it, okay, and I will say, okay, run that program. And let's see, the patient ID is 1, for example, and patient name Wonder, and fees, total fees is 200, for example. And insurance, you have to choose, okay, which insurance class do you want to choose? Okay, I can choose one. Let's make it on separate line, okay, so I can use here Al-an is much better to show it to you in a perfect way. This is the difference between let's run it again from the beginning. Close this output and close the running, yes, and come back and run it again. Patient ID 1, enter, Wonder, and then enter the fees is 200. Now this is how you choose the insurance. For example, let's choose 2, okay, and that should pay, okay, patient ID, and we should put Printlin here at the end, sorry, Printlin, and then Printlin, so we can make sure that everyone is the same in separate line. This is the last run, okay, 1, and this is the name and the fees, and the VIB is number 2, so get A. Now, okay, he will pay 100% because the discount is 50%. So total is good. Okay, all good. This is a quick example